The lies are smelly. The lies are in every angle, every corner. Wherever you turn to, you see the lies around you. Another weapon of warfare that they are using against us is fear. They instill fear into us. That so many of us have become so frightened to the extent that they can no longer identify themselves as Igbos, let alone identifying themselves as Biafrans. That is how serious it is. So many of us are so scared that we cannot identify ourselves as Igbos, let alone identify yourself as a Biafran. People are so scared to speak up. People are so scared to protest. You can imagine the supreme leader of IPOB, Mazen Nandekam, who is speaking for us, held for almost 5 years recently. If you calculate from the previous one, almost 10 years. And yet we cannot hold any effective protests in Nigeria. The only reason is fear. Are we being attacked? Of course. We are always being attacked. They will always shoot. They will always kill. They will always injure. That is true. But those are the process you have to go through if you really want freedom. But they have instilled fear in us. That even when an outsider volunteers to speak on our behalf, we chicken away and we water the situation down. This weapon of warfare that the Nigerian government is using is working for them. Another weapon of warfare is manipulation. Manipulation. And in this manipulation, they manipulate, including those of us who are Biafrans, more especially the Igbo Biafrans. Those you think they are vocal, including those who you think they are fighting for freedom. They are all manipulated. That's why you will see some people who were great Biafra agitators today fighting against Mazen Nanyokukanu, their mentor. That's why you will see today people that claim to be Reverend Fathers fighting against their own freedom and the leaders of the freedom of their people. They have been manipulated to the extent that they begin to see their own brothers, their own sisters as an enemy. The manipulation is so much that you will see somebody who you are fighting for. Everything, single thing you stand for, you speak for, is going to be to his favor. But yet, they attack you. They speak ill of you. They attack your platform. They destroy everything that has to do about you, even though you are fighting for them. The worst is that these individuals on their own have no voice. On their own cannot make any impact. But you that devote your time and your effort to come online, you see them, the same people, they will rise against you. The only reason they are doing that is because they have been manipulated by the system from top to bottom. Lies, fear, and manipulation. They realized long ago that if Biafrans remain united, the system of oppression collapses overnight. So they built a psychological weapon called divisiveness to turn us against one another. And they succeeded. Today, we expose their strategy, unmask their lies, and reawaken the Biafran spirit of unity and clarity. My fellow Biafrans, We must not allow the enemies to take charge. We must take back our nation, take back our unity, and take back our sovereignty. Nigeria have used divide and rule for a very long time, and they have succeeded. They have groomed so many people to use that same divide and rule in their politics, in their daily life, including manipulation into our midst. Nigerian rulers inherited the oldest colonial weapon, divide and rule. They know that to keep a people enslaved, you don't chain their hands, you chain their minds. That is the only way to keep people enslaved, by chaining their minds. That is why I always advise people to have an independent thought. Define for yourself what Biafra means. In every argument you want to present, let it be your own personal argument. Think within your own self why you are doing what you are doing. Give a reason to yourself why you must continue doing what you are doing. Not because somebody is doing it. Not because somebody out there called you to come on board. No. We must define this cause for ourselves. That is the only way we can succeed. That is the only way we can make headways. That is the only way we can be able to speak effectively in this cause of Biafra. The tribal division. They tag one Igbo group a better Igbo, another problematic Igbo. They elevate some and isolate others. This is a system we see every day. They go to plant untrust among brothers. And that's why you see today. Some people want to be seen as a good Igbo man. Oh, this one doesn't talk about Biafra. He doesn't talk about agitation. Oh, this one is part of one Nigeria. He's a very good Igbo man. He's not like these ones that are protesting. They use that idea to create a difference among you. And you begin to see your brother as inferior. And some people begin to aspire to be that inferior. They create a better Igbo and they create another faction, problematic Igbo. And they give advantage to some and they don't give to some. And when those who are watching from distance see it, so many of them will be convinced to follow the other, either to make their gains. Tribal division. Nigeria has played this game over and over. Even as we speak, the game is still on. It is because of this that you see somebody will rise and attack the cause of Biafra. Somebody will stand and tell you that Biafra is dead just to be a president. Somebody will come out and tell you that Biafra is dead just to be a minister, just to be relevant, just to keep friends around him. He will say, why are you people talking about this Biafra? Every time Biafra, Biafra, Biafra. What's it all about? The only thing they tend to achieve is to plant mistrust among brothers. And they have done it successfully among us. Today, even we that are in this struggle today, we are using the same language. Those in this struggle today use the same language. You create distrust among yourself. There are people who are perfect. Today, one of the common language we use in the agitation is saboteur. Once somebody brings an argument that is superior to yours, instead of you to go down and discuss, you tag the person a saboteur, thereby creating two different demarcation. Some people will not like to voice their own opinion because they don't want to be called a saboteur. Even though they know that what is happening is not how it's supposed to be, but they are scared. They don't want to be tagged a saboteur. They keep silent. You stifle the voice of truth. You stifle the minds of people and lock it up. People will not have an independent mind. and thereby creating chaos right, left, and center. This is the same strategy that the Zoological Republic have been using against the indigenous people in that country, more especially the Igbos. And it has been working. But this time we are unmasking it. For you to pay attention when they tell you that Omo Igbo, oh, this one is not problematic, it's a better Igbo. The other one is a problematic Igbo. Oh, this one is IPOB, this one is not. Every single Igbo man, take it or leave it, you are a member of IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra. It has everything to do with you. You can continue to pretend. They can continue to deceive you, to use you to fight against yourself. But at the end of the day, you are going to pay the price. The same way you betrayed your brother, you think they're going to trust you. They will never, ever trust you. They know that definitely you're going to be a betrayer in time to come. And they will take you out when the time comes. Political divisions. They found certain voices to speak against others. They found voices to speak against others. Especially anyone fighting for truth. They offer contracts, appointment, cash, silence patriotic agitators. That is what we see every day. The Nigerian government found certain voices to speak against others. Among us, the Biafrans, some of us have been funded to speak against ourselves. Especially anyone fighting for truth. When they weigh you and they see that you're lying, you are standing on the truth. You are not supporting Mr. A or Mr. B. You are on the truth, focusing, channeling your energy on them. They will sponsor people, your own people, the same people you think you are in the same page with them. They will sponsor them to fight against you. Especially anyone that is standing on the truth, they will fight you. You'll be surprised where your challenges will be coming from your own brother, the same people you claim to be fighting freedom for. Political division. When Mazen Nandekano said that they marked out billions of dollars to fight against agitation, you thought it was a joke, right? It's not a joke. Today, those people have been deployed in the social media, in their conventional media, on privately, in person, on campaigns, in many outfits. They are there, working tirelessly to destroy the truth, to distort the truth. They offer contracts. They can offer you contracts. Mazen Nan talked about it. He said they can give you anything. They will promise you everything. You know what they promised Mazen Nandekano? They promised him oil well. They promised him vice president. There's nothing they didn't promise Mazen Nandekano. And he said, no, all I want is freedom. The same promise was made to Mazen Samanekpa. They promised to make him the Dangote of Biafra land. How many of you will say no to these promises? So many of us today, common promise of recharge card. Promise, not even that they give. Promise, I will buy you recharge card. You begin to talk rubbish. Some because of house rent, you begin to talk nonsense. Some because of one little favor or the other, you begin to talk rubbish. You support evil. You cannot even speak anymore. Appointments. You see Biafrans being appointed in positions inside and outside, including the Nigerian government, a Biafran. Look at P2B today. Why did he say that Biafra is dead? For him to be the president of Nigeria, he must say that Biafra is dead. Even though he knows that Biafra is very much alive. Even in the life of his own children, Biafra is still alive. Biafra is alive. In the life of the children of P2B, he knows that. But because of appointment, he said Biafra is dead. So many of us today can no longer speak our mind because we want to be appointed. We want to be applauded. We want to be recognized. We want to be seen as, oh, that good guy. He doesn't talk anyhow. That good guy. You're an idiot. Sorry to say that. You're an idiot. Some are giving cash. As little as $50, $100. And their voice goes silent. And they begin to talk negative about themselves. Genuine agitators, you see people who were genuine, sincere agitators, people who were on fire. During the time of Mazen Nandekano, people that were on fire. During the time of Mazen, people who were on fire. Today, all of them are a loaf of bread. They are a loaf of bread. They have even turned 360 degrees and they are attacking the same thing they protected and defended before. They are attacking the same structure they defended. Division. Division with its roots from Asorok. We must begin to pay attention that money is not everything. Position is not everything. Contract is not everything. Recognition is not everything. You must be mindful and search your conscience why you do what you do. We have another one, media division. Their media portray freedom fighters as terrorists, sellouts, as peace lovers. That is what you see in Nigerian media. They portray freedom fighters as terrorists. That is why you saw them. Initially, all the media in Nigeria, every time, even when they know that IPOB is not a terrorist organization, they say proscribed. Proscribed. But all of a sudden, lately, so many of them have retraced their step. Even the time when the court, the case is still in court, being debated in the court, they will go ahead to begin to say proscribed IPOB. They tarnish the image of Martin Nandekano by adding proscribed to him. They say the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. The leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. Martin Nandekano, who is a freedom fighter, they make him look like a terrorist. Look at today in Nigeria, what are they charging him? Terrorism. That's what they are charging Martin Nandekano. A man that was not found with any weapon. He was not found with any weapon whatsoever, not even a knife. They are charging him with terrorism. But people they found with AK-47, people they found with grenade, people they saw in the war front who have murdered people, they don't see them as terrorists. Instead, they see them as peace lovers and they go into negotiation with them and they call them repentant. Reintroduce them into their forces, pay them hugely amount of money. That is the zoo for you. They twist the truth to make the victim look like the villain. This is happening every blessed day. And they have succeeded in carrying along the public in Nigeria. Today in Nigeria, they prefer to victimize the victim and promote the oppressor. That is what you see in Nigeria. Nigerians are very good in speaking against the victim. They criticize the victim. They attack you. But they praise the oppressor. They shower praises on them. That has become the order of the day in Nigeria. When you speak, they ask you, are you the only one suffering? Why is it that every time Biafran people talking everywhere? Why are they talking? Are they the only one suffering? So we must wait and sit back and allow everybody to get involved in the suffering before we find a way out. I'm sorry to disappoint you. We are out already. The Biafran people are gone and gone for good. And nothing is going to bring us back to Nigeria. Not your blackmail, not your division, not your destruction. We are gone and gone for good. Another weapon that they use is religious and ideological division. This is a one that is major. Religious and ideological division. This one is major. In this weapon of division, religious and ideological division is major. In this area, they use pastors, they use traditional rulers, they use influencers, they use imams to preach submission rather than liberation. A very strong manipulation. They use the pastors, the imams, the traditional leaders, influencers to preach submission rather than liberation. That is why, in a very difficult time where the nation is bleeding, where there is a call to save Christianity in Nigeria, the big pastors in Nigeria are silent. None of them have made any video in support of this very genocide that is going on in Nigeria. Adeboye, I have not seen any video he made. If you have seen, maybe you can show me. Oyedepo, I have not seen him make any video recently. He's somebody that we know that used to be outspoken, but all of a sudden he have gone silent and deaf and dumb. These were the people who were in the front line during the time of Goodluck Jonathan. They were all outspoken, condemning the government. They conducted rallies, they conducted so many protests. In fact, they campaigned in their church, personally campaigned to their members to go against genocide. But look at where we are. Today, they have lost their voice. Even when the international community have weighed in, they lost their voice. Instead, what you see is manipulation. Some of them going indirectly to take contracts, getting appointments. You can imagine somebody like Bishop Coker. Bishop Coker, who is in the midst of this very genocide, in the heat of it. He is from the area. But all of a sudden, because of appointment the government have given him, Dr. Coker has refused, Bishop Coker have refused to recognize Christian genocide in the northern part of Nigeria. I remember in one video where Mazen Nandekano advised him that if his fear is that when Biafrans leave, that they will be overrun in the north, that Biafrans are ready to offer them a landing space. We are ready to assimilate them into our land and allow them to have equal rights with everybody and attend to any high they want to attend to, if that is their fear. If not for wickedness, for idiocy, for complicity, why would Bishop Coker not be speaking? Why would Bishop Coker not be in the front line to speak on this Christian genocide? If not for the evil mind, for greed, why would Bishop Coker not be in the front line of speaking on the genocide in the northern part of Nigeria? This is one of the manipulations that Nigeria have mastered. And one of the manipulators is the government today. You remember when this man was elected, this drug baron was campaigning. He went and organized pastors, fake pastors in uniform. And he brought them to deceive Nigerians. And people fell into it. And they used them to create a division. They use people within you to create it. They have used many people in the Christian family to create it. The people that are in the front line today campaigning against this very genocide, talking down on the genocide against Biafra, they are Christians. They are Christians. Buala is a Christian in the north. Buala that is in the front line today, trying to discredit the fact that there is genocide against Christians in Nigeria. He's a Christian. Reno Mokri is also a Christian. You can imagine the people in the front line to discredit the Christian genocide are Christians. And this is how Nigeria used its weapon of division. They have already gone into the Christian families. And I bet you there are some pastors, reverend fathers today, that are still supporting this very government, saying that there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria. But because the time has come for Chukwukabiama to reign, there is no amount of blackmail propaganda that you push that will stop the truth from coming out. The truth must be heard. The truth must be seen, no matter how you try to cover it. My fellow Biafrans, we need to pay attention in this division, because this division also has weakened the Biafran struggle. Division among us, used by the federal government of Nigeria, has weakened the Biafran struggle. When we are divided, our strength becomes confusion. Our strength becomes confusion. Instead of facing the oppressor, we face each other. That one is what is happening today. Many of us spend hours talking about ourselves. When it comes to the oppressor, the real enemy, we don't even remember to talk about it. Some of us will be online for hours, talking about ourselves, attacking each other. But you will never have time to speak about the oppressor. That is what division causes. When we are divided, our strength becomes confusion, like the one we are having today. Instead of facing the oppressor, we face each other. We start suspecting every activist, every movement, every motive is suspicious. This is what we are having today. We start suspecting every activist. Every activist of Biafra today is a suspect, including myself. Every one of us, we are suspects. We suspect every movement of Biafra is a suspect. Mr. A suspects Mr. B, Mr. B suspects. Nobody trusts each other. Every motive, even when the motive is right, even when you look at it with a clean heart, you know that the motive of this guy is right. The motive of this lady is right. When you look at it with a clean heart, you know that the motive is right, but yet we suspect it. We suspect it. Our focus shifts from freedom to fighting ourselves. There are so many of us today, more especially in the media. So many of us today, more especially in the media. When they go to bed, all they think is what they're going to say about their brother. Some of them, they will wait for you to do your program. They go and look at it and see what they can say. When there are so many topics to discuss, when there are so many issues bothering us that we need to talk about, when the whole world is watching, at this great opportunity, when they have focused on Nigeria, all we need to do is to bomb them with information on what is going on in Biafra land. Tell them how the Christian genocide relates to Biafra. So many of us are distracted. We don't even remember to say that. Our focus shifts from freedom to fighting ourselves. Then what do you see? The enemies sit back and laugh. Their plan is working. The enemies, they sit back and laugh because we are doing their job for them. Division is not just political. It's psychological warfare. Division is a psychological warfare. It is not just political. It weakens our belief in the collective cause and replaces trust with doubt. That is why so many Biafrans today are doubting if this Biafra is going to come. So many of us today, if you can tell yourself the truth, sometimes you ask yourself, with the way things are happening, will this Biafra really come? So many of us, you that is watching me here, sometimes you sit back and you ask yourself these questions. When you are alone, after all the noise making, shouting here and there, sometimes you sit back, tell yourself the truth. You sit back and you ask, Is this how this thing is going to happen? That shows you that division is not just political, it is psychological warfare. The reason you are making those thoughts, the reason you are thinking that manner is because of the division you are seeing. That is the only thing that make your mind to begin to think and begin to reason and say, are we going to succeed? Can we make it? Mazen Nandekano is there. Mazen Samaneko is there. Nothing is happening. This one, are you sure we're going to make it? Are you sure we're going to succeed? Psychological warfare. It weakens our belief in collective cause and replaces trust with doubt. Many Biafrans today are doubting themselves. Many of us, we are doubting ourselves. We don't have that trust anymore. Tell yourself the truth. What we speak here is raw truth. And if you have a contrary opinion, the link is there. Challenge whatever I say. Whatever I say here, you feel it is misplaced. It's not in the right place. You have the right to come up and challenge it with a superior argument. That is why we're here. It is time for us to try as much as possible to think outside the box. We must start thinking outside the box. Our path to unity. We must start thinking outside the box. Think outside the box, how we can be able to have this united front again. To overcome this weapon, Biafrans must think strategically. And it takes us back to emotional intelligence. Biafrans must think strategically and emotionally intelligent. Very, very important. The messages we have been preaching all this while is meant for those that have open mind, those who are willing to make changes, those who are seeking for difference. You want to see changes. These messages are for you. When you come across it, meditate over it, like and share it to other people of like minds. Know the enemy's games. We must know the game of the enemy. Every one of us, we must know the game of the enemy. Understand that every rumor, every tribal quarrel, every political betrayal is part of their strategy. Don't react emotionally. Respond intelligently. This is one area that some of us are not paying attention to. Sometimes you think it is just to win argument with your brother. Sometimes you think it's just to win arguments against your sister. Sometimes you think it's just to pull your sister or your brother down, and that is it. You think that it's just a fight between you and your brother and sister to win an argument and become, oh, you have won. But I want you to understand that every rumor, every tribal quarrel, every political betrayal is part of their strategy. All these misunderstandings, quarreling that we are having, divisions we are having, is part of the strategy of the Janjaweed. Is part of the strategy of Nigerian government. And when they see it, divisions grow. When they see different groups coming up from different angles, challenging each other, they are happy. It is part of the strategy. But what do you do as a Biafran? Don't react emotionally. Even when your brother offends you, when your sister offends you, when they say that offensive word, when things are not working the way you want it, don't react emotionally. When your brother has spoken in a manner that you don't like, when he has said that word you don't want him to say, when he is not speaking the language you want him to speak, don't respond emotionally. Respond intelligently. Did you see that? I'm not saying that you will respond. You have to respond, but don't respond emotionally. Respond intelligently. When you respond intelligently, it will bring corrections. That your brother will correct him or herself. That your sister will correct him or herself and retreat. If they are genuine, definitely they will. Step 2. Separate truth from propaganda. Every one of us should learn to separate truth from propaganda. The time of propaganda has gone. I could remember in those days, when we started this evangelism with Mazen Nandi Ukukano, when this evangelism started, so many members of IPOB media then, they were all dining and whining on propaganda. All we wanted is to create that awareness. Anything you can do or say to drag attention, just say it. Many people were there speaking. Many people were just create that awareness. But there were some of us that were sound. We don't push propaganda. We say things the way they are. Mazen Nandekano doesn't push propaganda. That is why every single broadcast he made today, people are saying he said it, he said it. Mazen Samanekwa never do it on program. In fact, Mazen Samanekwa's position became the order of the day that Mazen Nandekano himself applauded it because he was dealing on facts. He was dealing on fact. Every single exposition, you will see the fact backing it up. But today, so many people have gone back to propaganda. When your brother or your sister say a thing, you misinterpret it to favor your argument. When you bring an information, you misinterpret it to favor your argument. The same thing Nigerian media is doing. We have seen them misinterpret. That was why even somebody from the United States, a media person was warning them. The man they brought, what is that his name? Was warning them. Don't twist my words. Say what I said. Don't mess it up. Mazen Nandi can also warn them on the last appearance. Don't twist my word. Some people today have now taken that as part of their own kind of agitation, their own kind of broadcast. But we must always try as much as possible. Those of us that are listeners, presenters, separate truth from propaganda. Separate truth from propaganda. The AI have even made it worse. AI have made it worse. That sometimes you just come out, you see something, you think what they are saying is what nothing is the way you see it until you verify. Not a video, not audio, not a message. Nothing is the way you see it until you verify it. So many things that we are seeing today are not what we think they are. That is why today you don't just come and say, you swear this is how it is. You don't. You don't swear to anything this day. You don't swear to anything. Except the one that happens directly in your presence. Even when the video is there, the audio, you don't swear to anything. The AI has made it more difficult. But that is where the responsibility comes. We must separate the truth from propaganda. Before you condemn any Biafran, ask yourself, who benefits if we turn against each other? Before you condemn any Biafran person, your fellow Biafran, your fellow agitator, before you condemn them, ask yourself, who benefits if we turn against each other? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself that question. When you open up your channel, all you do is to castigate your brother. The topic you discuss that gives you interest, that entices you. What many Biafran people who call themselves Biafran today want to hear is where there is a war between Biafran people. You don't even go to a place where you be educated about the situation of things, where the weaknesses of the zoo or what you can do to be able to get out of the zoo. You don't go there. You go to here where Okeke is fighting Okafor. What Okafor said yesterday program against Okafor. What Okeke said, and you interpret it. Most times they misinterpret it, they push a propaganda and then just to win an argument. Why there is a war before us? There is a war before us. You are focusing on argument. before you condemn any Biafran, it doesn't matter who the person is. Before you condemn any Biafran, ask yourself, who benefits if we turn against each other? Who stands to benefit? Ask yourself that question before you proceed. We must reclaim Biafra identity. We must reclaim Biafra identity. We are not Nigerian Igbos, Delta Igbos, Anambra Igbos. We are one people. We are Biafrans. We are not Niger Delta. We are Biafrans. Everyone in the old southeastern region, the Ijaws, the Igedes, the Ishakiris, every other tribe in that very region, the old southeastern region, they are all Biafrans. That is whom we are. We must not divide ourselves by ourselves. Our bond is deeper than geography. It is spiritual, ancestral, and eternal. That is why when I look in their media, I see this their quest for creation of state. This their quest of creation of state. When you look at it, you begin to understand the idiocy of a normal politician in Nigeria. These politicians don't mean well. When we say every politician in Nigeria is an instrument of oppression, you don't understand. Look at this creation of state they are talking in the Southeast. Every normal human being should know, assuming that we are part of Nigeria, every normal human being should know that the only state that needs to be created to unite the southeastern place now is Anioma state. Undoubtedly, Anioma should be the only state that brings unity, brings Biafrans back to where they are, brings unity among the Igbos. But what do you see? It is not about unifying the Igbos. It is about individual benefits. It is about they divide you more. They divide, creating more divisions. The only state that would have unified, that would have been reasonable to unify the Biafra land is Anioma state, to bring people together. These people that have been telling them for a long time, you are not Igbo, even though they know they are Igbos. They force them to denounce their Igbo-ness, and now they want to be whom they are. And you should have ordinarily think that everybody in that Igbo land will be happy, that finally their brothers are coming home. Ordinarily, it should be a thing of joy that brothers are coming back home. But what do you see? What do you see? Go to the media and you see the points they're making. Some want to divide Anambra State the more, divide Imo State the more, divide other states more. They want to divide themselves the more, instead of bringing themselves together. And the only state that have that intent of bringing people back together is Anioma State. I'm just using that as an example, because for us, the Biafran people, we are gone and gone for good. Whatever drama they are doing there doesn't have anything to do with the Biafran people. But I'm just giving you an instances for you to know the evil of Nigerian politics. That their politics is not about the people. It's not about unification. It is not about correction. It is about keeping the colonial identity alive. That is why somebody will fight against a step that is meant to reunite brothers and sisters together. You can imagine. There is a group now talking about the unification of the Igbos everywhere. Unification, bringing Igbos to know whom they are, to where they are. This question of denial Somebody with Igbo name, Igbo surname, Igbo origin, Igbo market days, Igbo names in their villages, and yet they tell they're not Igbo. Then opportunity present themselves to now come to where they belong and recognize it fully without any denial anymore. And somebody is fighting it. That is why Ohanese and Igbo cannot unify the Igbo people. Instead, individuals on their own are the ones moving for that unification. But the idiots who claim to be in that Ohanese and Doshin and Dama, they do not. Instead, they fight it. Instead, they fight against that unification. They use them to create many groups, Ohanese of Rivers State and Ohanese of Enugu State. That creation of state alone will show you the evil of Nigerian politics. That we are not supposed, no normal human being should pray that Nigeria exists in the next minute. No normal human being. When you look at this politician, it is about their own selfish interests, their own personal gain. There is nothing they are doing that is to favor the people, that to unify the people. No, it is to create more division. And that division is the objectives of state creation. State creation is to divide the people. When we were the old Southeastern region, we were united, speaking in one voice as brothers and sisters. And they began to divide, created River State and all. That creation of River State and Imo State and Anambra State was a problem. It brought division. They divided us more, taking Enugu out. They divided us more, taking Abuja out from Imo State. It was only a division. It has never brought in any development, nothing. Don't come and tell me that it never brought any development. It created division, more and more division. And when we are talking about removing the colonial hand in us, the politicians are still ready to implement that colonial system more and more. They are bringing it more. That is why somebody will be standing against a Anioma state that was meant to bring the Igbos back to where they belong. What they should be fighting is that some of our brothers who have been pulled to the northern part of Nigeria should be dragged into the Anioma state, brought back to where they belong. You can imagine an Igbo man in a northern part of Nigeria. As a northerner, described as a northerner. And it doesn't bother the Ohanese and Dohin and Dama. It doesn't bother these politicians. It is so sad. Our bond as Igbos is deeper than geography. It is spiritual, ancestral, and eternal. It is high time we build emotional maturity. Every single one of us as Biafra